What's up, y'all? This is Reggie, aka Speeding Bullet, with my co-host B, 3 exclamation points, bringing you the political perspective.
Savvy enough to hear certain things and not automatically be acting.
Elon Musk kind of like snapped on
This is like 3 more seasons of Landman right here.
yeah, definitely. Where the natural resources are ransacked, and these countries are normally not better after the United States comes over there and just starts trashing their country.
And always remember, if you're not political, you do not have a perspective. Now let's talk some politics. Here's everything Trump did this week and your political perspective for the day. So Trump extended the Iran ceasefire while keeping a naval blockade in place, which is basically saying, we're not fighting, but don't move any ships around here. Iran responded by seizing ships in the Strait of Hormuz and refusing talks until the blockade is lifted. Now there's a waterway stalemate between Iran and the U.S. As a result, oil prices shot past $100 a barrel because nothing says diplomacy like $5 plus gas and airline tickets that require financing. The blockade is reportedly costing Iran $500 million a day, while also rattling global markets. This is less about a peace deal and more a group project where nobody's talking, but everyone's sabotaging each other. Number 2, the economy. Stocks are up, but vibes are way down. Markets rallied briefly after the ceasefire news. Then analysts warn a pullback is likely. The war-driven energy shock is pushing inflation and gas prices higher. Voters are hit hard in the wallet. People everywhere are talking about gas prices. They're talking about the war. Economy is always a big driver in people and their voting. Polls show only 30% approve of Trump's handling of the economy. The translation that I see is Wall Street is partying because stocks are high, but Main Street and the everyday American is checking couch cushions for gas money, unfortunately. Number 3, politics and ballot issues. So voter ID and proof of citizenship laws remain widely popular. However, there is a information vacuum on what these proof of citizenship laws actually mean and what the voter ID laws actually mean. So broader sentiment is 72% say that the country is on the wrong track. Translation is that Americans agree on rules for voting, just not on literally anything else. Like Americans, by and large, say that you should need a voter ID in order to register to vote. But to provide proof of citizenship seems to be a stretch for most American voters and American citizens. Immigration. We haven't really heard a lot about immigration, a lot about ICE. Immigration, apparently, because of the war in Iran, is losing a lot of its edge. Approval for Trump's immigration policies have dropped 50 to 40%. A lot of the backlash is tied to just the violent enforcement incidents and aggressive deportation policies. The translation is, Americans want the government to be tough on immigration. However, Americans are not really for the side effects and what it looks like when these aggressive deportation policies are applied to everyday people and this disruption that these ICE raids have to a particular community. Number 5, courts, legal drama, and really, what did he say? So, legal scrutiny continues around the Trump era actions and rhetoric in the Iran war, including questions about legality of strikes and threats, whether or not the president has unilateral military powers to be able to direct our military strikes to whatever the president feels as though is a target at the moment. Presidents have always had kind of broad powers to be able to direct the military either in public or behind the scenes to be able to use the military how the president sees fit. But past fact checking shows just multiple misleading claims tied to the war and economic messaging. This just equals drama, and really the administration just not really being tethered to the truth, and you not really being able to believe anything that the administration says. The course of basically binge watching this administration like it's a legal drama, waiting for the next case to be decided upon by lower courts all the way up to the Supreme Court. It looks like every decision that the Trump administration does is going to be fought in court, and then we're going to let the lower courts handle it. And if the Trump administration thinks that it is something that is worthy of appealing to the Supreme Court, then we see that that's happening also. Some foreign policy moves. The U.S. halted a $500 million in cash shipments to Iraq over concerns about Iranian influence. So interesting, because Iraq and Iran have for years, I mean like decades, have been like really like sworn enemies. However, Iraq, because of the Iraq War and a lot of the American kind of influence in the Middle East, would be considered an American ally. So, being an American ally is profitable and comes with millions and millions and millions of cash, to assist in Iraq. So some of these, relationships with Iran is being tested and actually scrutinized, and it looks like some cash shipments are not going to Iran over some concerns. I'm sorry, going over to Iraq over some concerns about the Iranian influence. Number 7, some controversies. Trump claimed he convinced Iran not to execute protesters. Iran, of course, responded and said he completely made that up, which really tells you that even in international diplomacy, you got to have fact checkers and disclaimers, because one side is saying one thing, another side is saying another. But it probably is more consistent with our American political environment, where you can't really believe much that a politician says. However, it does look like the Trump administration is not tethered to the truth at all, and that there is no shame in the administration when they are called out on obvious lies, obvious misinformation, and things of that nature. I already talked about kind of like polls and like the political kind of like reality check that Trump is going through right now. Trump's approval rating is sitting at around 33 to 36%. And also 67% disapprove of his handling of the Iran conflict, which is really the biggest kind of, I would say, blunder for the Trump administration, in kind of bringing more and more conflict to the overall administration. You have you have tariffs, you have immigration, you have just economic issues. And here you go, starting the Iran conflict, which most people are kind of similar to shaking their head about, like when we went to Iraq after 9/11. So translation is really that the war abroad might be complicated, but the polling numbers are crystal clear. People is not feeling the war at all. So in conclusion, this week in America is like most weeks, complicated, crazy, all kind of stuff going on. But we got a ceasefire that still looks like a war, an economy doing the Macarena, up, down, confusing everyone, immigration politics losing steam, courts are circling like it's Shark Week, and foreign policy that feels like Venmo requests with missiles attached. So that is your political perspective and this week in Trump. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.